Well, it's the oldest and most enduring of hatreds, and regrettably with catastrophic consequences, not only for Jews, but those who get engulfed in it. As it is said, and I think it's been proven over and over again, that while it may begin with Jews, it doesn't end with Jews. And what we're witnessing, regrettably, has been a resurgence of this anti-Semitism, and on a global level. So it's an opportune time to bring together parliamentarians, scholars, to exchange views, to share experiences, best practices, and see what we can do to combat this really radical evil. I think the London Declaration is one of the most important, if not the most important, template documents that has ever been issued with respect to anti-Semitism. It is comprehensive in its understanding of anti-Semitism. It's comprehensive in the set of recommendations. It enjoys broad-based support. 120 parliamentarians from 40 countries endorsed it at the founding conference. Since then, hundreds from almost every continent in the world have signed on. We hope that as a result of this conference, that kind of engagement will continue, and this can be used as a template by governments and parliaments and civil society all over the world. This is what anti-Semitism is, as best as we are able to define it, and these are the remedies, the best practices, the recommendations to combat this evil. I think it's an initiative that not only Canada itself undertook, but in fact the London conference, the founding conference, invited Canada to do this. And I think it was a modicum of respect for Canada's own involvement in combating anti-Semitism and combating racism and discrimination of any kind, that it was chosen really as a site for this conference, because we can call upon our own collective experience and expertise and share it with others as we learn from them in such a way that this is a good venue for a conference. Well, I have to say that I don't want to say that I've lived a privileged life, but I have not really confronted anti-Semitism in any way that it has scarred me or shaped my life. I think other experiences that I've had in seeing other forms of radical evil sometimes scarred me more. And I grew up in an age in which, as I said, the silent 50s. So at that time, there wasn't too much of anything happening. As to the 60s, people say if you remember it, you weren't really there. So moving into the 70s and 80s, that was a time when one began to notice the beginnings of a new anti-Semitism, but it had not really, I think, exploded as it has in the last decade. Not necessarily in Canada, but in its global perspective. And that's why the opportunity to have parliamentarians from all over the world and scholars from all over the world to come together, to interact, to share their experience and expertise, I think we will all come out of this conference with a better understanding of this radical evil and a better capacity to combat it.